Hi, this video is going to be to show safe area and zone, and that's it. So when you first open up QCT, okay, we're going to select pantograph. I'm going to put this in beginnings, okay? And so if you're going to do a pantograph, you would touch there, and it asks you to create your safe area. So when you do this, go ahead and push your machine so that it is just not shoved up against the rail, but just kind of lightly touching, and move your needle over the edge there of the backing, okay? And you're going to touch the top left. And just to be clear, you don't want to be at the edge of your quilt top. You want to be at the edge of your backing. Okay, and then same for up here. You're going to move to the edge of your backing, and then as you can see, I've got the machine pulled, so not that it's crammed, but it's lightly touched, just lightly touching there, and I'm going to touch bottom right. Okay, so that has created a safe area. So the first thing that happens, the measurements you just made auto-fill into the total width and total height. You do not want to leave that total width measurement there. You don't. Or you'll end up with part of your pattern getting cut off. And I have a little visual drawn here. So when you start quilting, you'll be quilting what's called a zone, okay? And so the zone is this quiltable area that you have between the rails, okay? And it's going to start, the zone will start from wherever you want your leftmost stitches to hit or begin, over here to wherever you want the rightmost stitches. So if you're quilting off the edge, then you need some margin to go past the edge of your quilt. So if you know that this amount, say, is 38 inches, then you may want to have 39 inches and give yourself half an inch. Some people give a quarter inch, some people give half an inch. So what's critical, though, is that your zone fit within the safe area. It has to, or QCT will not be happy, okay? So you want to pay attention to what is that total width. And you can use this ruler up here, and you will notice that that safe area measurement is there in your ruler in case you ever need it from that screen. And then you can measure. You can say, okay, and then the slanted green line, you touch there, move it across, and then touch there, and then you say apply measurement, and now you have a different total width that fits within the width that you measured from your edges of your backing. And then your total height, when you have beginnings, you only can do what's called one zone. So, and it's based on what is the throat. So when you measured your safe area, you created a height, that safe area height, okay? So it's literally, your safe area height right now is here to here, but it's unrealistic that you'll maintain that full amount because of the buildup on your take-up rail. So you don't want to create a total height that will be bigger than when you get to the bottom of your quilt. So when you have beginnings, it's kind of like you start out with the end in mind. Now you could, maybe you do have 2 rows. You can have 1 or 2 rows with beginnings, and maybe you get to the bottom and you can change it to 1 row. You can do that. Or you can use the parcel diamonds to cut it off. So, but you don't want to, before you get to the end of the row, you don't want to start exceeding that total height. When you get to the last row, you're able to cut it off wherever you want. But all your zones between when you start out and when you get to the end, you want to be able to do the entire amount. So, so I'm going to go ahead and just say, I'm going to say 15. Okay, I have a 21, and 15 is going to make me okay. So if I select a pattern, I'll just pick that. And I'm just going to do it really quick. Well, let's see. I'm going to give it a row height of 7.5. Okay. And we'll get 2 rows. Okay. We're not going to go into designing. And then when you sew in zones, I'm not going to save anything. You'll be going into Zone Manager and okay, that's where that 15.93 came from. That is 95% of that 16 amount that I actually was the actual true measurement, okay? So that's your 15.93. This is considered your quiltable area, okay? The 39.4, that was from edge to edge of your backing. And then that 15.93 is 95%, okay? So I'm going to just change it to center there and say, okay. Okay, so when you first start out, that's a reason why when we did our safe area, we wanted that machine kind of resting against this, because now when we place it, we want it to be, it to be that top center beneath that safe area line, okay? And so if I didn't, and as once I get through quilting, it will give me a point that's going to be the mark for the next zone after I advance the quilt. So if I don't advance my quilt enough and I have my mark right there and I tap there, it's showing you at the bottom it's cut off. So I'll need to advance my quilt some more. Or maybe I shove it back too far and do that. Then I get that. So just always be aware. This zone has to fit. And where you have your needle when you place your zone matters. Like if I were to move my needle obviously too far to the left, you can see it's cut off over there. If I were to move it silly over to the right, then you can tell, you know. You can see where that cutoff area is. So just be aware and look at your measurements. And if everything looks good and you're still getting it, then come back here and look at what your total width is. And then come up here and see what is your width up there. Because this total width must be smaller. And then another place you will see that total width is when you tap in sew in zones and you go into your quilting interface. It's also up here. Now here the safe area is your true safe area, 39.4 by 16.77. So that was the amount, the full 100% of the safe area height. So that's the amount that you're having to stay within. So I hope that has helped with when you get the pink area. It matters where you have your needle when you place your zone, that you don't have it pushed up higher than where your safe area is, or you don't have it pushed so low that this red shifts beneath or shifts to the left or shifts to the right. Just make sure your zone measurements fit within your safe area and you should be good. I hope that's helpful.